Hello everyone. Today at Dharamshala in Xtrawrkx Summits on Summits 2025, we are joined by Mr. Anoop from Moonrider. So Anoop, what inspired you to establish Moonrider and what specific challenges are you looking to address with your electric tractors for the agricultural industry in India?
First of all, thanks Anurag for having me here. I think it's a fantastic place to be in amongst all of you here who have been here. So about Moonrider, we got this idea more or less from one of the progressive farmers himself. My co-founder and me, we had more or less built different segments of EVs. So while we were in conversation over a cup of coffee, we realized that this is going to transform the life of farmers, and we jumped onto it. So since we heard it from the farmer himself, he said कि आप लोग सब कुछ electrify कर रहे हैं, why don't you take a look at electric tractors? Farm electricity is free for me. So that was a eureka moment. 1.5 years, we haven't looked back on that. As far as the challenges that we are addressing, the predominant focus is on farm profitability. If you look at today, farmers are stressed because of various reasons, right? So you have short of labor, you have increased operational costs. Buying and owning a farm equipment is like owning a private jet for a farmer, right? So it doesn't make economical sense because the operational costs are high. So all of this contributes to sort of reduced farm profitability. So we are in a mission to sort of address this and improve the farm profitability.
As everybody knows now that Moonrider offers a range of electric tractors, right, designed to reduce operational costs, as you just mentioned, right? So how are these tractors really tailor-made to fulfill that demand? How are they made to basically cut down on the operational costs, make it much more feasible for farmers to have?
No, that's a great question. So if you take a step back and sort of bring your attention to cost vantage point, right? So there are two aspects of the cost. One is the total cost of ownership. The other one is the upfront cost. So the total cost of ownership is per se no-brainer, right? So I'll give you an anecdote. If you take a 75 horsepower electric tractor, it's 300 rupees versus 1,300 rupees. So that's the kind of delta per hour, right? So which means that you are operating the electric tractor at 1/4 of cost of a diesel tractor. There are various reasons, right? So electricity is cheaper, you have lesser moving parts and stuff like that. That's what is contributing towards the TCO. Then the other part is the upfront cost. That is very crucial, right? So most people sell things at TCO, which is fine, but the farmers are very sensitive, right? So the second question they would ask is, TCO to theek hai, so what about my upfront cost? So I don't want to end up paying, a premium for an electric tractor, which sort of outshadows the total cost of ownership. So we went on to sort of solve for this. So Moonrider is perhaps the only company right now who have sort of achieved the price parity, right? So we have done several innovations around it, because of which more or less we are priced on par with the diesel tractors. So that way you get the benefit of the upfront cost as well as the total cost of ownership. So net about 40 to 50% a farmer can actually save by doing so.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear, right? Being able to save 30-40% on an electric vehicle, and that to a tractor, which is like basically a lifeline of farmer, right? Very great to hear, right? I hope all the audience would also be pretty interested in such products, right? So moving on to the next question. So how does the key technological innovations in your electric tractor, right, this set them apart from the traditional diesel powered tractor?
Right. That's a great question. So if you look at the very traditional diesel tractors, right, so these are gas guzzlers, right? So nobody can drive a diesel tractor more than 3-4 hours, honestly. So some of them abuse it, that's a different issue. But the very NVH levels, the noise, vibration and harshness, wouldn't let you actually sit on the tractors and run for a longer period of time. So if you look at electric tractors, on the other hand, the NVH levels are 20% towards 20% of the diesel tractors. It's noise to it is like given, right? So the vibration levels have come down because of the more efficient electric powertrains, and it's not the diesel gas guzzlers. So that way, it's a fundamentally different product that the customers are going to experience. There is a big positive change for them, so which means that it'll improve their productivity and efficiency. So that's at the fundamental level, which is a difference between the.
Yeah, I assume these innovations that you have put in the tractors, right? They are also basically improving the quality of life of that farmers as well.
Absolutely.
Less vibrations mean that they are able to work on the tractor for maybe longer hours and maybe be less comfortable with their operations, right? Moving forward to the next question, advice to the aspiring entrepreneurs who might be watching our video, right? Any key insights that you can mention?
No, I mean, this is the best time to be engineers, yeah. So go invent, innovate. I think probably the one advice that I would give to fellow entrepreneurs is that, that's from my own experience, right? So you jump onto a particular venture with an idea in mind, right? And to me, that idea will evolve. And I think you should stick to the original idea and bake it, rather than actually deviating from the original idea that you jumped onto and trying to do something altogether. So that sort of takes you into a different path and you lose your destination. So I think every one of us, before we jump into a venture, so we sort of visualize and manifest where we want to be. And if you're deviating entirely from that because of various reasons, so I think that would be a disaster, right? So cut the noise, stay focused on your purpose and the idea that you sort of originally came up with, and then trust yourself.
How has the prior professional experience of founding a team has influenced the strategic direction of growth of Moonrider?
No, that's something very important. So if you look at the founders of Moonrider, which is me and Ravi, along with the entire founding team, right? So more or less all of us bring in the automotive and EV experience, right? So this helps you cut a lot of the non-value added steps that the other founders probably would go through, right? So in my 15 years of journey, out of which 8 years I've built different electric vehicles, trucks, buses, two-wheelers. So you bank onto your experiences where you've made certain mistakes in the past which you don't want to do it. So that way it accelerates the process. So that way we've been blessed. We've been, I think, predominantly because of the experience that all of us bring in onto the table, we've been able to move this fast, and hopefully we are on the right direction.
I see. Interesting insights from you, Anoop. Right. We are all looking forward to the success of Moonrider.
Thanks, man.
All right. Have a nice day.